This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you!
Boring. 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 Boring.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. That's exactly what you're doing. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
I call again for immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
Happy New Year 2026. Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. How was your New Year celebration? If you're watching this, you're probably more abstemious than many of the people I know. Anyway, welcome to 2026, unprecedented TV style. This is going to be a big year for us when we take on the mainstream media, not to beat them, but to be them. We want to be the mainstream media this year, and we'll start with a few predictions. And I'm going to keep this fairly short, but perhaps that's just as well, because you might not be quite as cheery as me, depending what you were doing last night. Let's start with my overall prediction that you are becoming smarter and smarter because you're coming to unprecedented TV to get your news, and long may that continue. We've tons in store for you this year. I won't go into that now, though we'll do that on some other day. So let's get on to my predictions. As I say, I'll keep it fairly short today. My first prediction is all about the war in the Ukraine part of the world. I think that you won't be surprised by this. I think that Zelensky's losing, Putin's winning, and Trump just wants it over. Ukraine has to give up. So my first prediction is that as long as the West, and particularly Europe and the United Kingdom, idiotically carries on shoveling money into the corrupt state, also known as Ukraine, people will carry on dying. But it won't make a difference to the outcome. The prediction I have, therefore, is that at some point in 2026, the war will end and Ukraine will lose and Russia will essentially win, and they'll get the three demands they've always been asking for: the denazification of Ukraine, no NATO membership for Ukraine, and a reduced military presence in Ukraine as well. I can't see any other outcome, so let's see if I'm right about that one. Bad luck, Zelensky. What will happen to him? Well, he's not short of a bob or two. How did he amass his millions? That's a question a lot of people are asking. Perhaps we'll get the answers when he's no longer president. And I would say that'll probably happen this year as well. So that's my first big prediction. Somebody else who's going to be a big loser this year is the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer in the United Kingdom. Here's what he was saying last year in 2025. Starmer speaks after by-election defeat. I think he's going to have some more of those. His own party is going to come for him, I'd suggest, because he just isn't cutting it. And he's been questioned in terms of his leadership by people in his own party. So the second thing I predict is that Starmer will probably have to resign. If not, and that'll be around May, because the by-election results will be nothing compared to the absolutely catastrophic results that Labour can expect in the local elections. And then my next prediction, this fellow here, that's Andy Burnham, will probably try and throw his hat in the ring, but he's got a problem. He's got to win a by-election somewhere first. Now, this one I'm not sure about. Is Labour so weak they can't even hold a seat in a by-election for Parliament? If he can win one of those, and he'll probably want to do it fairly speedily, then I think he'll challenge Starmer. And I think he's got a fair chance of winning. The other possibility is Angela Rayner comes back from the outside, where she's been pretty much exorcised like a ghostly phantom, somebody that Starmer doesn't really want to get rid of. Probably wants to keep on the inside, but Starmer will be afraid that Angela Rayner will get involved as well. And she's got the advantage of being an MP, so she doesn't have to win a by-election. So that's bad news for Starmer. I think that'll all happen around May or June. The winner will once again be this fellow. That's Nigel Farage, the leader of the most successful party in the polls consistently for well over 100 poll ratings now. He'll have a fabulous May because they're going to pick up hundreds more seats for Reform UK, increasing the likelihood even more of him becoming the next prime minister. We'll see what happens there, but I'm sure they're going to have a good time in those local elections. Even if you're not that interested in politics, I think it'll be worth tuning in sometime around the first Thursday in May. That's when that's when the local elections will be. That's not a big surprise, by the way. That's just the way it is, but I'll still say I told you so when those elections come along. Then we've got another little bugbear of mine. This is Ed Miliband wanting us to declare climate change emergencies all the time. I predict that the mainstream media will carry on with this ridiculous anti-scientific hocus pocus for as much of the year as they can. I'm not convinced that it'll make any difference to the weather. I still hold my belief that human beings don't control the climate. We do control the news, though, and the news will continue being ridiculous as this, in terms of the climate, totally uneducated man will carry on telling us rubbish. Uneducated, I say that, Ed, and you can have the right to reply if you want, because you don't seem to understand that carbon dioxide can't do what you're telling us it will do. That would break the laws of physics. So that's something else I predict. Connected to that, I predict that electric vehicles will carry on having a tough time. Here are some electric vehicles on fire. Once they catch fire, you can't put them out. So that's a pretty grim situation when you're carrying a whole lot of them. A number of ships have been sunk by these monstrosities too. So I predict the electric vehicle agenda will stall in 2026, and the government will try to back out of its 2030 commitment when we're meant to all buy electric vehicles. So we'll all be subject to this kind of incendiary situation. They don't burn often. When they do, then it's real trouble. So that's another prediction that I make. I'm also going to make another prediction about a man who's actually done rather well in 2025, in my view. There he is. That's obviously the American president, Donald Trump, there in one of his moments of great strength, I thought. He's just been shot and he's showing defiance. The BBC's in trouble, of course, and that'll carry on rumbling on. They're being sued for $10 billion by Donald Trump for faking some news suggesting he was inciting violence on Capitol Hill. But I think Donald Trump's going to have a good year. I think he's going to get what he wants in Ukraine because Zelensky's not really got many more options. And Europe and the UK aren't going to make any difference to the result there. So I think Trump's going to have a very good year, to be honest with you. Now, that's going to probably manifest itself in some rather fighting talk in terms of peace and so on. But I do think that he'll do well. And I've got one more prediction. I love using this quote. Let me read it for you. David Viner of the University of East Anglia's disgraced climatic research unit advised, and I'm quoting him, "Within a few years, winter snowfall will become a very rare and exciting thing. Children just aren't going to know what snow is." Well, that's what he said 26 years ago now. I make a prediction. Children will know what snow is because it's going to snow. I'm going to be an even bolder prognosticator. I predict scenes like this in January 2026 in the United Kingdom, and children will see the snow and they'll know what snow is, and the University of East Anglia will cringe, especially if it snows in Norwich. Yes, there isn't a climate emergency, and when foolish people like Dr. David Viner make unequivocal comments, children just aren't going to know what snow is 25 years ago. They can't back out of it now. So I'm hoping we're going to have a white January, snowballs all around, and a little bit of free education to the disgraced climatic research unit at the University of East Anglia. Don't make promises for the weather that you can't keep. I'll make some promises now. We're going to do our best this year to entertain, to educate and inform. Unprecedented TV already does news and views, as you've just seen. But we're going to add arts and culture to that as well. We have some fantastic allies all around the world. I'll be doing a bit of traveling to make friends in Europe, to make friends in the Americas, and maybe make friends in the Philippines too. We are truly going global and glowing with it too. Thank you, all of you, for watching, for making it possible for us to have produced hundreds and hundreds of shows. We'll break the 1,000 in the first half of this year, actually first quarter of this year, I'm pretty sure of that. And it's all thanks to you. Please do subscribe to Unprecedented TV on YouTube and tell us what you think as well. Happy New Year. Go and get your Alka-Seltzer or your aspirin or maybe hair of the dog. It's a bank holiday today. That's why I'm doing this on my own. And to my unprecedented team, you have been unprecedented this year. All I ask is give it your all in 2026 and let's make us the mainstream for 2027. Happy New Year. I'm Lembit Öpik. That was the first episode of Lembit Öpik Live on Unprecedented TV 2026. See you soon.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The return of the sausages.